Blockopotamus. 5-6, Bonny Bones. 6, Trans are Human Rights. 80, Eddy Current. 90, Jane Scare. 926, Splat Benatar. And Peninsula Roller Derby scoring 4 points that jam before calling it all. Bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 4, holding Tucson Roller Derby at 0. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit, going up against 0122 Ricochet, but it's going to be Ricochet getting lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby, taking advantage of that open outside lane. 424 Arti Misfit for Tucson is really fighting that pack up there. However, Blockopotamus is going to get that hit out, looking for the recycle, but successful scoring pass by Ricochet before calling it off. Four points that jam, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 8, holding Tucson Roller Derby at 0. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 87, Bunny Beatdown, going up against number 6, Trans are Human Rights. And it's going to be number 87, Bunny Beatdown, for the lead jammer, taking lead jammer for Tucson. And inside little apex hop there for a successful scoring pass, putting Tucson on the board just as Trans are Human Rights breaks out of their initial. Tucson looking to put some more points up on the board. Successful scoring pass by Tucson Arizona Roller Derby to quickly tie up this game. Tucson Roller Derby putting 8 points up on the board, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 8. Will we have a lead change? Maybe. And jamming for Peninsula, we have number 135, Sailor Doom, going up against number 27, Fowl Play for Tucson. Both jammers doing a really jukey job. 135, Sailor Doom trying to take that inside line. However, that pivot was right on their heels. Some excellent blocking here by Tucson. Some equally excellent blocking up at the top of the pack by Peninsula Roller Derby. Tucson jammer trying to get some help from their friends, taking advantage of that offense, and it's going to be 2-7 Foul Play, your lead jammer for Tucson. Big hit by Blockopotamus there. However, Foul Play still inbounds, gets up and perseveres, managing to pick up 3 points before successfully calling off the jam before Peninsula can score any points. And we have our first lead change of the game. Tucson Roller Derby putting 3 points up on the board, bringing the score to Tucson 11, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 8. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 69, Glitter Bomb, going up against number 182, Blink 182. Blink 182 for Peninsula Roller Derby, picking up that lead jammer, racing around the track, trying to put some points up on the board, as Glitter Bomb is still on their initial. But with that said, Glitter Bomb breaks out of the pack off of their initial, looking to come around, trying to get some points before, but Blink 182 is going to have a successful scoring pass before calling it off. And with those 4 points put on the board, we have another lead change. Peninsula Roller Derby bringing the score to 12, holding Tucson Roller Derby at a very close 11. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit, going up against 0122, Ricochet for Peninsula. We have Arti Misfit at the top of the pack, critical Brit trying to give some great blocking offense, but that's not going to be enough to hold Arti Misfit back. Arti Misfit picking up the lead jammer for Tucson, looking to race around, trying to get some points, looking to get another lead change here while Peninsula is still on their initial successful scoring pass by Arti Misfit. And with those 4 points, we have another lead change in this game. This is truly so exciting. Right off the bat, Arti Misfit trying to pick up another 4 points, and they will get all 4 points before strategically calling it off before Peninsula is able to hit the pack. 8-point jam by Tucson Roller Derby, bringing us to, as I said, another lead change. Tucson Roller Derby 19, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 12. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 87, Bonny Beatdown at the top of the pack, who just picked up lead jammer, jamming against number 6, Trans Are Human Rights. Bonny Beatdown on the scoring pass, trying to pick up some points just as Trans Are Human Rights breaks it out of the initial. Bonny Beatdown going after. Will there be some jammer on jammer action? Nay, nay, I say, as Bonny Beatdown calls off the jam with picking up 4 points that jam for Tucson Roller Derby, bringing the score to Tucson 23, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 12. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones, jamming against number 2-7, Fowl Play. Fowl Play at the top of the pack. Bonny Bones looking to get through, but it's going to be Fowl Play picking up lead jammer status, getting recycled by Blockopotamus. Now, Tucson does have lead, but they are still on the initial. Bonny Bones has broken out of the pack and was on a scoring pass, but Tucson will call it before Bonny is able to come around and hit the pack. Bonny Bones successfully applying that pressure, forcing a call off. No points scored that jam. Tucson Roller Derby sitting at 23, Peninsula Roller Derby sitting at 12. Skating for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, jamming against number 69, Glitter Bomb, and it's going to be Glitter bombing their way through the pack to pick up lead jammer for Tucson. But Blink 182 is skating hot on their heels, trying to apply pressure to force a call off. Glitter Bomb's going to try to blow through the pack to pick up some points, and they will. It looks like they picked up all 4. They sure did. Glitter bombed their way through that pack to pick up all 4 points before strategically calling it off before Peninsula can pick up any, bringing the score to Tucson 27, holding Peninsula at 12. And a team timeout has been called by Peninsula Roller Derby. This would be a great time to hydrate, maybe with some Fit Aid. They're available in single serve stick packs in Watermelon Wave and Pink Himalayan Lemonade. They're sugar-free, dextrose-free, and it's built to keep you performing at your best. Humble Brands, the deodorants. Humble Brands prioritize mindfully sourced, ethically harvested, and plant-based mineral ingredients in our best-selling deodorants, bars, soaps, and lip balms. Check it out. And we have an empty sticker coming penalty box. But everybody knows the rule of thumb. As soon as you mention an empty penalty box, somebody's going to go. It's inevitable. I don't make the rules. Jamming for Peninsula, we have 0122 Ricochet going up against number 424 Arti Misfit. Arti Misfit making quick work of that lead jammer, busting through that Peninsula pack, getting some help from their friends before calling it off, scoring 2 points before calling it. Tucson Roller Derby putting 2 points up on the board, bringing the score to 29, holding Peninsula at 12. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 87, Bonny Beatdown, jamming against number 6, Trans Are Human Rights for Peninsula. And we have 8-7, Bonny Beatdown being recycled. Trans Are Human Rights at the top of the pack, looking to get some help from their friend. 926 trying to offer some offense. And Tucson's blocker 2-0 will pick up a directional penalty. Trans Are Human Rights looking to take advantage of this lack of blockers. Bonny Beatdown really working to try to get through those Peninsula blockers. And with that, Trans Are Human Rights will take the lead jammer as Tucson is still on their initial. Trans Are Human Rights looking to score some points here, trying to close that gap, while Bonny Beatdown is still on their initial. Some phenomenal blocking, a great hit out by Viper Active. Successful scoring pass by Trans Are Human Rights. Both teams doing some excellent reforming here. Bonny Beatdown trying to give some defensive help here. And it looks like number 20 will be picking up another dependency. I believe that was a forearm. And it also looks like Bonny Beatdown has picked up a penalty. I do believe, yes, Bonny Beatdown is still the jammer, and they are in the box. This is a power jam, meaning with Trans Are Human Rights calling off the jam, Peninsula will start with a power start. 11-point jam by Trans Are Human Rights. That jam closing the gap, bringing Peninsula Roller Derby to 23, holding Tucson, Arizona at 29. Peninsula Roller Derby is starting off with both a power jam and a pack advantage, with Tucson having a blocker in the box. Number 135 Sailor Doom is jamming for Peninsula, looking to take advantage, trying to get through those packs. However, that pivot was doing some excellent blocking. 3-1-1 Rage was really sticking on 135 Sailor Doom. However, they could not stop Sailor Doom, and Sailor Doom picked up lead jammer, looking to score some points here. Sailor Doom at the top of the pack, trying to score some points, getting some help from their friends, some great offense happening. However, Bonny Beatdown rejoins the pack, but the jam is called. Team timeout called by Tucson. Let's check out that sticker coven penalty box. It looks like we've got one blocker in the sticker coven penalty box. I told you, I don't make the rules. As soon as you talk about the box being empty, somebody goes. And that concludes this team timeout. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, jamming against number 69, Glitter Bomb. And it's going to be Blink 182 getting that lead jammer status for Peninsula. However, Glitter Bomb is right on their heels. Oh, a great hit by number 06, Annarose. However, Blink 182 stays the course. And with those 4 points scored, we have another lead change. Peninsula Roller Derby bringing the score to 31, holding Tucson at 29. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 3435, Pole Punch of Pain, picking up lead jammer before calling it off. Okay. Don't forget to get your bout shouts, folks. And with that said, number 6, Trains Are Human Rights, jamming for Peninsula Roller Derby, picking up that lead jammer. Number 424, Arti Misfit, jamming for Tucson, still on their initial, looking to break out. Viper active in there, trying to stop Arti Misfit. However, Arti Misfit will stay the course and break out on their initial. Trains Are Human Rights on a scoring pass, looking to pick up a couple of points before calling it off. And they will pick up all 4 points before calling off the jam. Peninsula Roller Derby, 4-point jam, increasing their score to 38, holding Tucson Roller Derby at 29.
I mean, you're welcome up that wall, but I'll leave. Yeah, thank you.
Jamming from Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones, up against number 8-7, Bunny Beatdown. And it's going to be Bunny Beatdown jumping that inside line to pick up lead jammer for Tucson, looking to score some points and close the gap on this lead. However, Block Eponymous is right there doing some excellent zoning, but that will not stop Bunny Beatdown from getting around a successful scoring pass. Bunny Beatdown looking to put some more points up on the board as Peninsula is still on the initial. Big hit by Block Eponymous there, just as Bonny Bones breaks out on the initial. Tucson trying to put some last-second points on the board before Bonny comes around, strategically calling it off before Bonny is able to hit the pack. 6-point jam by Tucson Roller Derby that round, bringing the score to Tucson Roller Derby 35, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 38. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, going up against number, I believe that's 27, Foul Play, and it's going to be Blink 182 picking up lead jammer just as Foul Play heads to the box, heads to the sticker coven penalty box for a penalty, giving Blink 182 a power jam. Blink 182 taking advantage of this power jam. Getting through those Tucson blockers, and it looks like Peninsula is holding a goat. They've got number 20, D20, but D20 said, "You cannot stop me," powering through to try to help their team, making it through, really giving Blink 182 a hard time. However, a successful scoring pass for Blink 182. Just as Peninsula number 33 picks up a multiplayer penalty, heading to the sticker coven penalty box. And with that, Tucson breaks out on their initial, just as Blink 182 completes a scoring pass before calling it off. 12-point jam that round by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to 50, holding Tucson Roller Derby at 35. Jamming for Peninsula, we have 0122 Ricochet, jamming against number 69 Glitter Bomb. And Ricochet did pick up lead jammer. However, they were recycled. Glitter Bomb on a scoring pass, looking to put some points up on the board here. Glitter Bomb bombing their way through the pack. Blockopotamus really getting low, trying to stop that action. However, Glitter Bomb holds onto that inside line and manages to fall in bounds, keeping them in play. Tucson Roller Derby scoring 4 points that jam, bringing their score to 39, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 50. And we have an official review. Official review. Official review. It's where the officials review things. Now would be a great time to reapply some deodorant. Humble Brands deodorant. They are a proud 1% for the planet member. Humble Brands is always cruelty-free and made in the USA. Moxie Barbell. Moxie Barbell helps busy people train smarter, eat well, and build habits that actually stick. If you want to get stronger without overhauling your entire life, DM Moxie Barbell to learn more. It's fitness that fits your lifestyle. Okay, and jamming for Slam Andreas is number 6. Trans rights are human rights. I have been pronouncing their name wrong, and I deeply apologize. Their name is Trans Rights Are Human Rights. Number 6, jamming for Peninsula Roller Derby. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit. And it's going to be Arti Misfit picking up that lead jammer for Tucson, trying to close the gap. And with the score only 39-50, that's one jam. You can get that many points in one jam. Absolutely. Arti Misfit putting 3 points up on the board, chipping away at that gap, bringing the score to Tucson Roller Derby, keeping Peninsula Roller Derby at 50. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 6-9, Glitter Bomb, going up against number 135, Sailor Doom. And it's going to be number 6-9, Glitter Bomb, bombing their way through the pack to pick up lead jammer. However, Sailor Doom is hot on their heels, looking to apply that pressure. But Glitter Bomb is trying to score some points. Were they able to call it off in time? Tucson Roller Derby picking up 2 points that jam. Peninsula Roller Derby picking up 1, bringing this close game to Tucson Roller Derby 45, Peninsula Roller Derby 51. Jamming for Slam Andreas, we have Blink 1 Skatey 2. Jamming against number 8-7, Bunny Beatdown. Both jammers really doing a great job at hitting hard, but it's going to be Blink 1 Skatey 2 pushing out that inside line to get lead jammer. However, Bonny Beatdown is hot on their track. The pack is now running, and we are playing USARs. Tucson is primarily in the front of the pack, and they are looking to stay in the front of the pack. And let's see if anybody was able to pick up any points that round. Looks like no points awarded that jam. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit. Jamming against number 0122, Ricochet. It's Arti Misfit at the top of the pack, picking up lead jammer. Looking to put some points up on the board with Ricochet hot on their heels. Keeping the pack moving. Tucson picking up some points and calling it off before Peninsula can pick up any, bringing the score to Tucson Roller Derby 47 to Peninsula's 51. And with just under 4 minutes left in this first half, it's anyone's game. Yeah, don't forget to get your bout shouts in. All right, right, Tucson Roller Derby picking up lead jammer. Tucson Roller Derby putting 4 points up on the board, tying the score up. Tucson Roller Derby and Peninsula Roller Derby both sitting at 51 points with just over 3 minutes left in the first half. And we have an official timeout. Official timeout. Official timeout. We are on an official timeout. Let's check out that sticker coven penalty box. Looks like we've got one person in the sticker coven penalty box. Shout out to Sticker Coven for sponsoring our penalty box. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 27, Fowl Play, and jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones. Bonny Bones at the top of the pack, trying to push through. Both jammers neck and neck, but it's gonna be Fowl Play getting that lead jammer for Tucson, but Bonny Bones right on their heels. Tucson trying to pick up some points before calling it off. Tucson Roller Derby picking up 1 point that jam. Peninsula Roller Derby picking up 2, giving us a lead change. Peninsula Roller Derby sitting at 53 with Tucson at 52. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 3435, Whole Punch of Pain. Jamming against number 182, Blink 182. Picking up that lead jammer. Just as Whole Punch of Pain tries to punch their way through those Peninsula blockers, and they do, making it out on their initial, while Blink 182 is on a scoring pass. Blink 182 picking up 2 points before 3 points? 3 points before calling off that jam. Peninsula Roller Derby sitting at 56 points. Tucson Roller Derby, 52. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit at the top of the pack. Jamming for Peninsula, we have 0122, Ricochet. And we have some recycling happening here. And Ricochet will take lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby, while Tucson is still on their initial. Ricochet on a scoring pass, tiptoeing past their mates on the floor for a successful scoring pass. While Arti Misfit is still on their initial, those Peninsula blockers really giving them a hard time. But just as I said that, Arti Misfit breaks through the pack on their initial, both jammers on a scoring pass. Ricochet trying to put some more points up on the board before Arti hits the pack. And Ricochet was able to call it off before Arti was able to score any points. 7-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby that round, bringing the score to Peninsula 63 to Tucson's 52. with that, the refs are saying no timeout, and this is halftime. Okay, we will see y'all in 15 minutes. That concludes our intermission. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 6-9, Glitter Bomb, making quick work of that lead jammer. Jamming for Peninsula, we have them in the box. This is a power jam for Glitter Bomb. I do believe that's Ricochet over there jamming for Peninsula, though. Successful scoring pass by Glitter Bomb, racing up that inside lane. Glitter Bomb looking to put some points up on the board, and I do believe that Ricochet is still on their initial. Those Tucson blockers really doing a great job of trying to hold Ricochet back, but Ricochet does make it through. Some great offensive blocking there by Tucson's 06 Annarose. And Tucson will pick up some last second points before calling off the jam. 8 points that jam for Tucson Roller Derby, bringing our score to Tucson Roller Derby 60, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 63. Jamming for Peninsula, we have Blink 182. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 27, Fowl Play. And it's going to be Blink 182 picking up lead jammer for Peninsula Roller Derby, looking to widen that gap here on a scoring pass. Apex jump by Blink 182, making that half look easy for a successful scoring pass. Just as Foul Play breaks out of the pack, but Blink 182 will complete their scoring pass and then call it off. Four points for Peninsula Roller Derby that jam, bringing the score to Peninsula 67, holding Tucson at 60. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 6, Trans Rights Are Human Rights. Jamming against number 3435, Whole Punch of Pain. And lead is still open. Neither jammer has gotten lead. Blockopotamus and Viper putting up some quick walls, but that will not hold back Whole Punch of Pain. Whole Punch of Pain picking up lead jammer for Tucson Roller Derby. Tucson Roller Derby trying to pick up some points. And Whole Punch of Pain will get a back block penalty, and they will be headed to the sticker coven penalty box, giving Trans Rights Are Human Rights a power jam. Skating up that inside line on the one, dancing around that. Trans Rights Are Human Rights looking to... However, they called off the jam. However, they were not lead. Official review. Official review. I mean timeout. Official timeout. Official timeout. This is a timeout called by officials. What a great time to talk about one of our sponsors and maybe get some water. Maybe hydrate with Fit Aid. Hydrate replenishes sodium, potassium, and magnesium, providing over 200% more magnesium and potassium than leading competitors. We love that. And then, after you drink some water, get a snack from IQ Bar. Delicious plant-based bars designed to fuel both your brain and your body. Okay, jamming for Tucson. Just picked up that lead jammer status. Number 3435, Whole Punch of Pain. And I do believe that they had a power storm. Okay, jamming for Peninsula. We have number 6, Trans Rights Are Human Rights. Coming out of that sticker coven penalty box. Still on their initial. Whole Punch of Pain on a scoring pass, looking to put some more points up on the board, trying to close that gap. Not only close the gap, they're looking for a lead change. However, Peninsula is not going to make it easy for them. Those Peninsula walls really doing a great job of locking that in. However, Whole Punch of Pain trying to get some help from their friends, a little bit of offense there. A little bit goes a long way. Great reforming happening at the top of this pack. A great hit out by number 90, James Scare. Tucson Roller Derby still fighting. Peninsula Roller Derby low, 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 low. Tucson trying to get some help from their friends, a little bit of offense. Number 7 trying to get some offense. And that concludes that jam. Tucson Roller Derby putting 8 points up on the board. Bringing the score to Tucson Roller Derby 68 to Peninsula Roller Derby's 73. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 87, Bonny Beatdown. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 135, Sailor Doom. Both packs really doing a great job at reforming and really holding those jammers. And it looks like somebody's going to pick up a high block. It looks like a high block has been assessed to Tucson's pivot. And Peninsula Roller Derby number 135, Sailor Doom picking up lead jammer, trying to get through the pack, looking to put some more points up on the board. And it looks like number 122 on Tucson will be picking up a multiplayer, I do believe. I think it was a multiplayer, but successful scoring pass by Sailor Doom for Peninsula Roller Derby. Bonny Beatdown giving some defensive help, trying to stop Sailor Doom. However, Sailor Doom completes a successful scoring pass, trying to call it off, but they are not lead. I do believe that this is a full 2-minute jam. Boom, big hits out there. Big hits from that pivot 0-6 on Tucson. Annarose. Big hit out on that inside. Number 9-3 said, not today, giving some help for their friends. Oh, 3-3, that's 3-3. Super hard hitting jam. Every single point earned. 12-point jam for Peninsula. Bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 85 to Tucson 68. The score really reflects how evenly matched these teams are. And Peninsula will be starting with a power start. Number 0122, Ricochet. Peninsula will be starting with a power start and pack advantage as White 4 will pick up a destruction penalty as 0122 Ricochet picks up the lead jammer. Ricochet on a scoring pass. Tucson Roller Derby on their initial. Jumping over block of Potamus on their initial. But Ricochet will call it off. Four-point jam by Peninsula Roller Derby, bringing the score to Peninsula 89, Tucson 68. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182. Jamming against number 6-9, Glitter Bomb for Tucson, but it's going to be Blink 182 picking up lead jammer for Peninsula. Blink 182 completes a successful scoring pass just as Glitter Bomb makes it out of on their initial, and Blink 182 will call it off before Glitter Bomb is able to rejoin the pack. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 6, Trans Rights Are Human Rights. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit. And it's going to be Trans Rights Are Human Rights picking up the lead jammer for Peninsula as the Tucson pivot heads to the sticker Coven penalty box. Successful scoring pass by Trans Rights Are Human Rights. Whip away. Number 424, Arti Misfit getting a whip from their teammate to get through the pack. Looking to get some points, but not before the jam is called.
Was it what?
That was a 4-point jam by Tucson Roller Derby, bringing the score to 85, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 107. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 87, Bonny Beatdown, going up against number 0122, Ricochet. Ricochet picking up that lead jammer. However, Bonny Beatdown is right on their heels. And Blockopotamus is picking up I believe it was a high block penalty maybe? I think it was a high block. Blockopotamus picking up 2 penalties there. No, just kidding. 1, just 1. You have 1 or 2? I can't tell. At least 1. But that's okay. We all end up in the box sooner or later. The sticker coming penalty box. All right, and jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink 182, and jamming for Tucson, who just took that lead jam, is number 27, Fowl Play. Foul play, looking to put some points up on the board. Successful star stash by Blink-182. Successful scoring pass by Foul play before calling it off. All right, and jamming for Peninsula, we have number 6, trans rights are human rights, jamming against number 3435, Whole Punch of Pain. Both jammers still on their initial, neither have broken out of the pack. Lead is still open. Blockopotamus getting low, hitting out that jammer just as trans rights are human rights, picks up lead jammer for Peninsula. Peninsula is on a scoring pass. Tucson is still on their initial, and it looks like that was a successful star stash by Whole Punch of Pain. And for those watching, a star stash is when the jammer successfully hides the star. A star pass is when it's successfully passed. A little jammer on jammer action before trans rights are human rights. Calls off the jam. Peninsula Roller Derby putting 4 points up on the board, bringing the score to Peninsula Roller Derby 113 to Tucson Roller Derby's 92. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 5-6, Bonny Bones, going up against number, who dat, 424, Arti Misfit, jamming for Tucson. Lead is still open, but not for long, because that is Arti Misfit taking lead jammer for Tucson with Bonny Bones right on their toes. Last one. Tucson Roller Derby putting up 2 points on that jam. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 8-7, Bonny Beatdown, jamming against 0-1-2-2, Ricochet, and it's gonna be Bonny Beatdown getting lead jammer for Tucson. Bonny Beatdown trying to score some points here. Peninsula still on their initial, I believe that's Ricochet? Yeah, Ricochet. But just as I say that, they break out on a scoring pass. While Bonny Beatdown is also on a scoring pass, but has lead. Bonny Beatdown strategically calling it before Ricochet can hit the pack. No points scored by either jammer that game. Holding the score at Peninsula Roller Derby 113 to Tucson's 96. Jamming for Tucson, we have number 2-7, Foul play. Jamming for Peninsula, we have number 182, Blink-182. Both jammers getting a little bit of help from their friends. And Blink-182 will pick up a forearm penalty before lead is assessed meaning that lead is still open and Foul Play can still get lead. I do not believe that they took their helmet off. And Foul Play does it. They secure that lead jammer status during this power jam. Looking to put some points up on the board and close that gap. Getting a whip from their teammates. Successful scoring pass by Foul Play. Some awesome help there from number 797, Papa Rosh. Foul Play coming around for another scoring pass. And with those 4 points, Tucson, I'm sorry, 6 points. With those 6 points, Tucson Roller Derby breaks the century mark, bringing their score to 102, holding Peninsula Roller Derby at 113. And with that, we have an official review called by Tucson Roller Derby. Anybody in the sticker coven penalty box? No? Not yet. We know how that goes, though. Let's hear a word from our awesome sponsors. You too can sponsor Roller Derby and have your business, side hustle, whatever. Sponsor the Roller Derby team because you love it and because it's fun. And we'll talk about you however you want us to. And get your vouch outs in. Don't forget to get your vouch outs in for your favorite players. It's always so much fun as a player to hear your friends and family giving you a shout out on the track. It really just makes your game, really turns it around. Makes your day, makes your game part of the fun of Roller Derby. And while we're here, we should all be hydrating with some Fit Aid. Replenish your sodium, potassium, and magnesium. It provides over 200% more magnesium and potassium than the leading competitors. It's sugar-free and dextrose-free, and it's built to keep you performing at your best. At your best. Why perform at your worst when you can perform at your best? Hydrated. Moxie Barbell. Me too. I love Moxie Barbell. Man, when I'm not on the roller derby track, Moxie Barbell helps busy humans build muscle, fuel smarter, and feel more confident in their skin without the restrictive diets or hours in the gym. If you want to break free from that all or nothing mindset and build lasting strength and confidence, DM Moxie Barbell on Instagram to learn more. Check it out. For those at home watching, tuning in, we are on an official timeout. An official timeout is where, or I'm sorry, not an official timeout, we're on an official review. The Tucson, Arizona has called for a review, and the refs are reviewing it. Okay, so this concludes the official review. Tucson was looking for an illegal re-entry on the white jammer for entering in the engagement zone. Tucson has won their penalty. The call will stand. The penalty will be issued, and Tucson will have a power start for this next jam. And they get to retain their official review. Obtaining, keeping official reviews is it's a real thing. Getting your official reviews don't happen too often. So when it does, it's like, yeah. All right. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 6-9, Glitter Bomb, going up against number... Can't see the jammer, but that's okay. It's a power start. We're power starting. Glitter Bomb has a power start. What's Glitter Bomb going to do with this power start? Will they get lead jammer? Not if Blockopotamus can backpack their way out of it. That being said, Glitter is going to bomb their way through to pick up that lead jammer status just as white number 4 picks up a track cut, heading to that sticker coven penalty box. Just as Blink 182 rejoins the pack, makes quick work of that initial, looking to score some points, and they will score. Both teams putting some points up on the board before calling that off. Tucson Roller Derby putting up 3 points on the board. Peninsula Roller Derby putting up 2. Peninsula Roller Derby sitting at 115 to Tucson Roller Derby's 105. With just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in this game, it is still anyone's game. That is literally one jam worth of points. And jamming for Tucson, we have number 424, Arti Misfit, making quick work of that lead jammer and jamming for Slam Andreas. We have number 6, Trans Rights Are Human Rights. Arti Misfit on a scoring pass. Peninsula Roller Derby really doing a good job of holding and then pushing Arti Misfit out. Arti Misfit powering through for a successful scoring pass. Just as number 311 picks up a penalty. Heading to the sticker coven penalty box. All right. Arti Misfit really putting in that work, working for each one of those points. That sticker coven penalty box filling up fast, and it looks like that this with that penalty given to Trans Rights Are Human Rights, this is a power jam for Tucson Roller Derby. Tucson Roller Derby has both lead and pack advantage, with Peninsula Roller Derby having 1 blocker and 1 jammer in the box. And with 50 seconds left in this game, the Tucson Roller Derby put 8 points up on the board, 113 to 115, with about 30 seconds left in this game. Tucson Roller Derby starting with a power start. Bunny Beatdown taking advantage of this power start, racing around that track, hit out by Blockopotamus, but her teammates are there so that they don't get recycled back. Bunny Beatdown picking up that lead jammer status for Tucson Roller Derby, and with only 2 points behind and that lead jam trying to get through. Oh, big hit out on the track. Big hit out on the track. Tucson Roller Derby with a pack advantage as a Peninsula blocker sits in the sticker coven penalty box. Just as Trans Rights Are Human Rights completes their initial, both jammers on a scoring pass. Trans Rights Are Human Rights applying that pressure, forcing the call off. Tucson Roller Derby picking up 4 points. A successful scoring pass in that last jam. Waiting for the official score, but it does look like Tucson Roller Derby came back in the end. Let's see. Waiting for the final score. teams. What a phenomenal game. Wow. It truly came down to the last jam, and this just reminds you, you only need 1 point to win. Or in this case, 2. Congratulations, Tucson. Well earned. Well fought, Peninsula. Well fought. Great job, everyone. Thank you to the officials. Thank you to the refs. Thank you to everyone watching at home.